Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the part of the world that you're living in. Um, we will resume our lecture regarding Python programming. At this point, we start to learn about control flows, which could be decisions and loops. So why are actually control flows important? Because a program does not usually flow in just a certain defined sequence. There are points where your program could go in different direction, trying to make decisions, or certain tasks actually require a lot of repetitions. In this case, control flows are very important. So control flows are used to execute conditions, or maybe there are tasks that you would like to do it repetitively. In this case, control flows are going to be very important. So there are two types of control flows. The first class is decision. Decision is a way that you choose between certain points of decisions that you would like to make, while loops are most importantly for looping or going again and again for a certain task. For example, for decision, one of the syntax that we use in Python is the if statement. So the if statement only executes if a certain condition is actually true, and it doesn't care if it's false. So it only have a set of line of code that executes whenever a certain condition is actually true. So let's go ahead and try this. So what this example does is there's a variable age, which is 18, and if age is actually greater than or equals to 18, then it prints out you're eligible to vote. Otherwise, you're not eligible to vote. But whenever it's if statement, it doesn't really care for the false statement. So age equals to 18, and if age is greater or equals to 18, then print you are eligible to vote. So now if we run this code, it says you're eligible to vote. And if I give it probably something less than 18, that could be 12, uh, then in that case, it doesn't show us anything because it doesn't really care about whenever the statement is actually false. But on the other hand, the else statement considers whenever it's actually false. So if age, no, else, we just do else and print you are not eligible to vote. So you can only use if statement if you like, if you would like to consider only if the statements are true, but also it's the case that uh, you can also include the false scenario. In that case, you use the else statement also. All right, now go ahead and try this question. It's a 1 minute challenge. It could take a bit over 1 minute, I believe. At least do the task one and task two. Also good if you do task three, then we do it together. Okay, let's do it together. So the first task is write an if statement that prints access granted if the variable password is equals to pass 123. Keep in mind that P is capital. So password equals to pass 123. And if password equals to pa capital P pass 123, then print access granted. If we go ahead and run this code, you see that boot is access granted. So it doesn't really care about the false value. Task 2, it says write an if statement, if else statement that prints welcome if a user is admin, otherwise print access denied. So it's got if and else. So personnel equals to admin, then if statement if personnel equals to admin, print or oh, this is actually username. It doesn't really make an error, but while naming variable, it should be aligned with what it actually represents. So it should print welcome, but else it should print access denied. Let's now go ahead and run this code. It says welcome because it's admin. Maybe let me just say it some name, and that's Daniel. That's access denied. Let's proceed to the next question. Write an if-else statement that prints welcome if user is admin and a password is pass123. Otherwise, print access denied. So username is admin, and password equals to pass123. So if username equals to admin, now we're using nested if statement. So if statement inside of an if statement. To do this, we check the username first, then we check the password later. So password should be pass123. And then if this is satisfied, if both of the situations are satisfied, we're going to say welcome. But here, um, if any of if any of the two are not true, we're going to print out access uh, access denied. Yeah, that's the question. Maybe we can add access denied because of incorrect password at this point. But at the very original level of the if statement, print would say access denied because of incorrect username. Let's run this. So, oops, I'm sorry, I never wrote else else. Also here else. Okay, that's going to be welcome. But let's change the password to be, Amin instead of admin. That's access denied because of incorrect username. And let's make this admin, and maybe let's remove one character from password, and access denied because of incorrect password. There are certain situations that you would like to check more than one specific situation of if the decision is true or false, but rather you would be able to choose between different situations. In this case, we'd be using the else if statement, which is if, else if, as much as the situations that you have, and a final else as a default. So for example, here look, the if is trying to check the temperature and giving a feedback. So let's say the temperature is 30, and if temperature is actually greater than 35, then it's going to say it's very hot, which it is. And if else if, which is written as elif for the syntax, and else if the temperature is actually greater than 25, then it's going to print out it's warm. Else if temperature is actually greater than 15, then it's going to print out it's cool. And final else would be it's cold, because if it's less than uh, 15, then it's always cold. The final else is going to be the default. If the value that you've entered does not match any of the ones that are provided in the if statement, and then in the if else if statement, then it's going to go to the else statement. So let's go ahead and write this code and understand it more. So temperature, let's just say temp is equals to 30, and if temp uh, is greater than 35, then print very hot. Else if temperature is greater or equals to um, 25, then print it's warm. And if temperature is um, greater than 15, then print it's cool. Else we'll print it's cold. Okay, let's run this code. It says it's warm because it's 30. It's not greater than 35, but it's actually greater than 25. So you can ask the question that 35 is also greater than 15, also greater than 25. Why is it choosing this statement? The way that the else if statement works is it first checks the first statement here and goes passing to the next one. If it's true in any of the statement, then it's never going to proceed to the next statement. So in the first statement, it checks it. It's not actually greater than 35. It checks the second one. It's actually greater than 25, which is true, and it never tries to check any of the statements that comes below. Okay. This is a task for you. This is a 1 minute challenge. Go ahead and try it by yourself as usual, and then we're going to do it together. Right, let's do it together. So the question is, write an if-else statement that prints baby if the age is less or equals to 5, child if age is between 5 and 13, and teenager if between 13 and 19, adult otherwise. So we're going to use if and elif statement. So age equals to, let's just give it a certain age, 34, and then if age is less than less than or equals to 5, then print baby. If age is less than or equals to 13, print teenager. Elif age is less than or equals to 19, print what's 13? Oh, this is child. This is teenager. And else print adult. Let's run this. It gives us adult because the age was 34. Maybe let's give it some age of like 3. That's a baby. Let's give it an age of 18. That's a teenager. Okay, so this is all about Python decisions. In the next lecture, we'll be discussing about Python loops. See you there.